Hello, 6th graders. Welcome to Big Ideas Math, 7th grade math, section 2.3, Subtracting Rational Numbers lesson. Pause while you write section 2.3 lesson in your math notebook. Pause again while you write today's lesson objective in your math notebook. Today's objective is subtract rational numbers. Today we'll begin on page 60 in your math textbook and take a moment to write the key idea at the top of the page in your math notebook. It says to subtract rational numbers, use the same rules for signs as you used for integers. Be sure you write the words and the example. And then let's move on to example 1, subtracting rational numbers. Our job is to find -4 1/7 minus a -6/7. So first of all, we're going to estimate, and when we do that, we have -4 minus a -1. So remember our rules, that would be the same as a -4 plus 1, which equals a -3. And then we're going to go ahead and look at the problem, and -4 1/7 minus a -6/7 equals -4 1/7 plus 6/7. So we are adding the opposite of -6/7, and we'll write the mixed number as an improper fraction so that we can add easily. And so that becomes -29/7. So as a review from last year, you multiply the denominator times the whole number, so 7 times 4 is 28, and then you add the numerator. 28 plus 1 is 29, and that gives you your new numerator, so that's where we got the 29/7. So it's -29/7 plus 6/7, and then you write the sum of the numerators over the common denominator. So it's -29 plus 6 over 7, and when we add that, it turns out to be -23/7. And then when we simplify that or write the improper fraction as a mixed number, it turns out to be -3 2/7, and we compare it to our estimate to see if it's reasonable, and it is close, so it works. Let's move on to example 2, subtracting rational numbers, and now we're working with decimals. So our job is to find 12.8 minus 21.6. So we add the opposite of 21.6. So remember, when we do that, we take the absolute value of both of our numbers, and since the absolute value of 21.6 is greater than the absolute value of 12.8, then we use the sign of the 21.6, and that is negative, and so our answer is -8.8. So the difference is -8.8. And you have to remember that the distance between any two numbers on a number line is the absolute value of the difference in the numbers. So we're going to find distances between numbers on a number line, and this number line is vertical. So when you look at that, just remember that it's going up and down instead of back and forth. And it says to find the distance between the two numbers on the number line, and to find the distance between the numbers, we are going to first find the difference of the numbers. So our numbers are 2 1/3 and -2 2/3. So when it says find the difference, that means we are subtracting. So we take -2 2/3 minus 2 1/3. And so we add the opposite of 2 1/3, because that's our rule for subtracting. And of course we have to write the mixed numbers as improper fractions, and when we do that, we end up with -15/3, and simplifies to negative 5. And because the absolute value of negative 5 equals 5, the distance between these two numbers is 5. So remember that when you're working with distance, you can never have a negative number. Example 4 is our real-life application. It says, in the water, the bottom of a boat is 2.1 feet below the surface, and the top of the boat is 8.7 feet above it. Towed on a trailer, the bottom of the boat is 1.3 feet above the ground. Can the boat and trailer pass under this bridge? And this bridge is 11 feet 8 inches. So let's follow the steps. It says step 1, find the height, h, of the boat. So here we have a way to do that. Our height, h, is 8.7 feet above the water minus a negative 2.1 feet. So that's the 2.1 feet that's below the surface of the water. So we're subtracting the negative 2.1 feet because it's below the surface of the water. So we subtract the lowest point from the highest point. And then, so when we do that, we are adding the opposite of negative 2.1. So that looks like 8.7 plus 2.1, and it comes out to be 10.8 feet. And then we find the height, t, of the boat and the trailer together. So you've got your trailer. I'm going to draw this, which you all should know by now. My drawings are not always so great, but here's our boat on the trailer. It's a sailboat. And so the boat is 10.8 feet, and then the trailer is 1.3 feet. So we just want to add that up. So when we add the trailer height to the boat height, we end up with 12.1 feet. And because 12.1 feet is greater than 11 feet 8 inches, we know that it's not going to make it under that bridge. So the boat and the trailer cannot pass under the bridge. So the answer is no. So your assignment for this lesson is to complete the On Your Own problems 1 through 8 on pages 60 and 61 of your textbook or your online textbook. Those problems are also shown below. And show your work in your notebook, submit your answers in Google Classroom, and please be prepared to share during your next class. So here are your problems, and we will see you tomorrow. Thank you. Remember, to earn credit for viewing this flipped lesson, you need to complete your exit slip, come to our next class prepared with the journal pages or other work from the flipped lesson completed, be prepared with any work that was assigned in the flipped lesson completed, and be prepared with any questions you have for your teacher, and of course, have a good attitude.